Hi everyone and welcome, my name is Dora and this is my second update to Pan That Palette 2024. So I'm working on 3 different eyeshadow palettes this year. We've got the Revolution Kombucha Kiss, which is last year's Pan That palette. Then there's the BH Cosmetics Colori Vivaci palette, the palette that you have voted on. And Too Faced, that's my jam. This is my Fantastic Ladies Facebook group collab, fun-sized / better together palette for this year. And the goal with this one is just to hit pan, whereas with the other ones, I just kind of want to see how far I can get. Why don't we start with this one? So I'm going to insert a picture now of what this palette looked like in my last update. And here's what my palette is looking like today. All right, I haven't hit any pans yet, but I think I'm getting kind of close, or at least like the deepest dip is definitely in this darkest shade here called Jam on It. Let's go through the uses one by one. In this pink matte shade called Spread It, 7 uses. The lilac matte called Grape Soda, I have used 3 times. Pickup Limes, I have used 5 times since my last update. Jam Session, I've only used once. Weeby Jamming, I've also used once. Violet Fum, really nice shift going on in there, I have used twice. Toast, I've used once. And Jam on It, I have got 14 uses on this one. My goal with this one was to use each shade at least once, so I've managed to hit that, yay. And I think I'm going to continue with that for next time, yeah. So goals for next time, apart from doing a no pan left behind, I also want to focus on Jam on It again. Maybe I can hit pan on it, that would be amazing. And I also want to focus on Pickup Limes here. All right, I'm now going to insert a slide so you can see the total amount of uses that I've got on this palette within this project up to this point. Next, I want to talk about the Kombucha Kiss palette. A lot of things have happened in here. All right, here's what the palette was looking like at my last update. And here is what this palette is looking like now. Okay, so I have another empty pan in here. I say another because if you don't know this, I had already finished this before. Then I had put a Franken shade from my previous side pan that palette into this pan. I had also previously finished Chaos here. This was like a neutral color, very pale matte shade. And I pressed another Franken in here from my side pan that palette. So yeah, I just need to remember to not take that to mean that I can do more, you know, frankening and put more shades in here to actually just see it as like the good first milestone of making sure that it looks more like that in the rest of the palette. Some pans have disappeared, shadows where I'd previously hit pan, and I have frankened some shades. So let's talk about those as well real quick. I'm just gonna put a couple of pictures up here so you can see the before and after. Right. So the first thing I did was that I knew Scorching, so column D, 3rd shade down, I knew I wasn't gonna love that shade. I said it in my last update already. I had used it once, dabbed over an eye look, and I didn't like that. It was a pressed glitter, a very fine pressed glitter, very warm, goldeny, sort of orangey glitter. Not really my cup of tea. And because with Passion, column C, the 2nd shade down, there was some hard pan starting to form, I decided to franken these 2 shades together. So the shade you're seeing in Scorching right now, so this one here, is purely a mix between Passion and Scorching. Why don't I give you a swatch? I really like how this came out. It's the sort of pink with gold shimmer in it that I can really get on board with. Then Spice, so one up from Passion, so column C, top shade, that peachy matte. It was too warm on me. I didn't like how that performed. I have been ignoring this for a long time. So I decided to mix that into what was left over from my concoction, and I then pressed it into Passion here. So that's what that is. You can immediately see how it makes it more orangey rather than pink, and a bit less shimmery. Yeah, so that's how that turned out. I'm not sure I'm loving it. Like, you know, it's always frankening stuff. It's always a bit of hit and miss. You can end up making something that you're gonna really, really love, or sometimes it's a bit like meh, you know. Maybe this is a bit of a meh thing, but maybe I like it. Who knows? I have surprised myself in the past. Right, so then I had the empty pan in Spice, and then I started to eye up All or Nothing. And this was very bronzy, and again, too warm for me as a bronzy type of, quite dry, but also sort of squidgy as well. Interesting formula. Didn't love it. So then I went in and I took a palette that I had already decluttered, but I haven't been able to recycle it yet. So I've still got it here. I'm gonna try and include a picture somewhere. And there was a black shade in there, a black with gold shimmer in it, a sort of marble effect. So I crushed all of that up and mixed it with the leftover from Scorching, Passion and Spice. So this concoction here, what's in this pan, mixed that together and ended up with this beautiful brown shimmer shade that I just adore. I love this. I feel like this was lacking from my color story. I really like this. I really wanted some more shades that would deepen out the outer corner, and also like shimmery, because these two are matte, yeah? So I was super happy with that. And then because I also still had the Spice empty pan, I took another shimmer shade from the Revolution Astrological Regeneration palette, the decluttered one, and I mixed it again and put it into Spice. So this is a brown shimmer, again with that gold shimmer marble effect. And here's what that looks like. So it's very similar. It's very similar to the other one. I'm okay with that. So yeah, I have temporarily lost 4 pans, but I don't mind. It's okay. I discussed my pan percentage in my Panels eyeshadow series. I'm confident I can re-hit pan in these shades quite easily. Franken shades are easier to hit pan in generally than like a pressed, firmly pressed matte shade, for example. Let's go through the shades one by one. So Chaos here I have used 13 times. Energy I have used twice. I'm really starting to be able to see a dip there. Very happy with that. Spice, since frankening it, I have used it once. Charcoal I've also used once. Light Up I have used 5 times. Heat I've used once. Passion, since frankening it, I have used it once. Fiery I've used twice. Blazing I didn't use. Sizzling, you know, the franken, in order to finish, I used it 27 times since my last update and 88 times since I finished the original sizzling and pressed another shade in there. Rebel, this matte shade here, I've used 26 times, and I use it with this kind of brush and this exact brush, actually, not just this kind of, like I have that many brushes. I don't need that many brushes. And I mix it with my normal face powder to set my under eyes. Scorching, since frankening it, I've used it once. Heating Up, I've used twice. Flames, I didn't use. All or Nothing, I've used twice since frankening it. And the Dark Side, I have used once. Okay, my goal, I said last time, was to focus in on these franken shades. Chaos, Light Up, Heating Up, and to finish sizzling. So I've managed to do that. I think the pan expansion on these 3, even though, okay, 13 uses, 5 uses, 2 uses, so it's decent enough, I guess. I think the pan expansion isn't too bad. I'm happy with that. And then obviously I'm super happy that sizzling is done and I have officially got my first empty in here again, or my first empty of the year, and I'm gonna keep it as an empty in here. I need to remind myself of doing that. Now that I've discovered frankening eyeshadows, I need to stop with this palette. Okay, my focus shades for next month are gonna be Light Up. I think the pan is probably the biggest in that one. So I just want to see how far I can get to finishing this one up next. And then I also want to continue to use Rebel on a daily basis, and it's getting kind of low in there, but I'm probably a third of the way down into the pan from the side with a little bit of a dip in the middle. I don't think I can hit pan in this for the next update. I just want to keep going on it and have it as a focus shade, so I use it in every eye look. Maybe I'll do a side goal of trying to use these new Franken shades, or all of the Franken shades, in fact. Should I do no pan left behind on this one? No, yeah. All of the Franken shades, no pan left behind. New and old. Okay. Oh, all right. Okay, it's time to look at the Colori Vivaci BH Cosmetics palette now. I'm gonna again insert a picture of what this looked like in my last update. And here is what this palette looks like today. So I have hit my first pan in here, woohoo! In this shade here, shade number 10, a sort of rosy satin shade, yeah. I'm gonna go through the shades now one by one, but I'm only gonna show you the shades I've actually used. So I'll be skipping over any that I haven't touched since my last update. This shade here I have used 6 times. The Periwinkle I have used twice. This gold shimmer here I've used twice. This pink shimmer I've used once. The pink with a new pan I've used 7 times since the last update, and it took me 13 uses to hit pan. That's really good research, obviously, because now I know how deep these pans are. And if it takes me 13 uses in a satin, I think this is the only satin shade in here actually. The rest are either shimmers or mattes. Maybe up to 20 in a matte and maybe up to 13 in a shimmer. Maybe a little bit less. Yeah. This pink shade here and the red one next to it I have used twice. Both of these are in my eye look today. I'm wearing this all over my lid and this to darken out the outer corner. And then I've got a bronzy, coppery shimmer shade dabbed on top from a different project. And fiery from the Kombucha Kiss. So this one here on my crease. And then I used Energy, the yellow matte, in the inner corner. And Pickup Limes, also in the inner corner, on top of the yellow. This is now, and now you know why this is my focus shade, because I finished Sizzling, which was my previous inner corner highlight shade. I want to replace that with Pickup Limes here. And not with this shade here. The way I have been using this one the most, probably exclusively those 6 times, was dabbed over a cool toned neutral eye look, just to make the shimmer come out even more, to brighten it up. I love it for that so much. I don't want to waste it as just an inner corner highlight. You know, somewhere down the line I might be having to do that, but yeah, not now. Okay. One last shade to talk about, and that's this cool toned brown matte here, and I used that 4 times since my last update. So my focus shades for the coming month are going to be the pink and the red. I just want to see if I can pan this look. I think that'd be really useful. It would help me out with all 3 of these palettes and with the other shade that's in my pan, those eyeshadows, so that would be super helpful. I think I'm going to continue with this one as well because it's in another look that I'm trying to pan. Actually, again, you know, there's a lot of back and forth because I'm wearing these palettes together. So that's a look that I do with light up, and then either with any of these sort of darker ones on the outer corner, or with this on the outer corner, or with another dark matte from my Pandas eyeshadows in the outer corner, and then dabbing this on top. Love it. Yeah. If I've got a picture, I'm gonna try and include that here. Oh, actually, yes, I'm wearing that look in my Expand Those Pans Update 1. So I'm gonna link that video here. I'm not sure I'll be able to have another eyeshadow finished next time. I'm not sure I'm gonna have another pan next time. I'm gonna really try. And if not next time, then I know I'm gonna set myself up for more pans, more shadows finished in my update number 4. Yeah. All right. Okay, so that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing really well, and I hope all of your projects are going really well. And I'm sending you so much love. Take care. Bye. Mwah.